if you're to explain it in a different perspective, that could be, if you look at things like light and dark, that's our dark aspects. That's our darker aspects, is those narcissistic traits. The light is our divine, our divinity. Or as some people may call it, our empathy, which is rooted in our divinity, comes from the feminine energy. People and their freedom, the system is rolling. They feed us negativity energy on purpose, loose energy, they call it. Energy harvesting. That's another thing. We live in a big ass fucking human farm. They're farming us for our energy. And that's something. Talking about that, I was on a walk this morning, and I was thinking about that kōrero. How people say, go get a job, you need to go get a job, or go work, blah blah this, blah blah that. The whole point of job is you exchanging your time, your attention, your energy in accordance for money, in exchange for money. So, essentially what a job is just to keep you to keep the system intact, to keep the cog in the wheel, in the machine going. And it's kind of like when it comes to this wairua talking, people say, oh, that's not a real job. It's like, well, in the same way you go to work and exchange your energy, that's your currency for money, I'm doing the same thing, exchanging my energy, my currency, and talking about things. So, it's everything's an energetic exchange, is basically what I'm saying. And we live in a world designed to harvest our energy harvesting. And they love negative energy because it keeps the system in check, Negativity keeps us in a low frequency and vibrational state, and when we are in that state, we are more easier to manipulate, dictate, and control, which keeps the system in check. They don't even have a reason to have prisons. They rehabilitate people the right way. Morena reign of the mist. I'm heading to Whenua to ground tap into Mother Earth in Otepoti. Matriarchy, her story. Yeah, good on you. That's what I was up to this morning. I was sitting in the dark, pitch black, in a reserve on one of the seats, and just lapping up the rain and just grounding. I know. And I don't care how people perceive me doing such things. This is my life. Your life is your life, just like my life is my life. You do you, and I'll do me. Give them their own life, far from anything. A good community skills training, harvesting. They thrive off our loose, So what do we do? Raise your vibration and frequency, and stay in a loving state. Activate the heart space, and like the old biblical scripture says, protect the heart, for everything flows from it. Move into the heart space. Move out of the head of where they want you, stuck in your head, ruminating, overthinking, constantly ticking, and move into a more positive, loving state from the heart. To obey, just makes people angry that you can have what they want for free. It's a warped perspective. Yeah. And a lot of the names like currency is money, is water. Yep. much gratitude and love for your wisdoms, knowledge, and positive vibrations leading vibes too. Ngā mihi, reti mana. You guys know where to find me if you want to engage in some kōrero. Everything is a frequency. If you know, you know. Yeah, give me a follow if you like the kōrero. Everything is frequency, yeah. Like the Nikola Tesla saying, eh? Think in regards of, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, and then you'll understand the key to this universe. See, another word for energy is, energetic beings, and another word for that is spiritual beings, because it's same. Everything's energy. It's like when it comes to God. God is not fucking, what a lot of religions say he is. It's not a human figure. It's an energy, It's energy. It's pure energy. We are all energy. And the thing is, energy never dies. It just either transmutes or transcends, But it never dies. Everything is a frequency, cause it's a current or flow, yeah. Mic drop. Not all people are equal in a physical sense. Some people need help. We don't have the right help. Yeah. And sometimes it boils down to people wanting help too. A lot of people's pride and ego gets in the way when it comes to talking about help. A lot of people are too proud or maybe just embarrassed or shamed to even ask for help. There could be many reasons around help, but when you label it as help, it normally puts people off. No, not many of any like to admit that they need help, With our food, water, etc. to dull our shine, yeah. And that's all it is. It's all by design to dull your shine, yeah. People are angry that you have free time also. Yeah, because why they're out here doing the systemic thing of contributing to the system, work. It's the very work and having to, take up maybe even a second or third job, just to survive. And like I said, it's going back to that Matrix movie kōrero. People are so hopelessly dependent on this system for their very survival that they will literally fight to protect it. But it's that very system that is creating all their pain, misery and suffering. But yet they don't want to acknowledge that part, because all they know is the work to make money and survive. And there are other ways, and I see people are starting to implement those ways now. People are starting to implement different ways of surviving. For example, becoming more self-sufficient. Moving off-grid, planting your own marakai and gardens and, fishing or all of that shit. All of that good shit. Learning how to, live self-sufficient and sustainably. 100% that's their problem, yeah. Exactly, And the thing is, a lot of these people tune in my life because, as part of this gang stalking agenda and fixated on what I'm up to. So, I talk about a lot of this shit on the daily. And, with everything I say, they should know this. But, that's the thing, When you've said it and you know that they know this, but they don't act accordingly on the information, they'd rather still believe in their own things, then exactly, Margaret. It's their own problem. I have to go to public places, no grass in my rabbit hutch, government flat, but I'm grateful. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, brother. You would have stood out sitting in the rain, yeah. Oh no, it's pitch black, so you were not seeing me. Unless, of course, you come around with a spotlight or something and shine it and get a bit of a surprise. Maybe even a fright. The system's bullshit, man. They're basically saying if you don't make money, you don't have a right to... Yeah, because everything's designed to serve the system. That's why. And if you ain't serving them, then you're no good, you know. Then we might as well knock you off, you know. For example, subject you to the gang stalking agenda or whatever, which is a 24/7 covert operation, surveillance, you know, designed to destabilize a person, mess with your mental health, you know, your nervous system. And once you dysregulate the nervous system, easy to fuck someone up. And they do all of that shit. So, you know, if you're not contributing to their system, then they'll just go and fuck you up, make you exit yourself. Heart space. Yeah. And we're all at different, you know, we're all at different levels of that heart space. Some of us, you know, are more in our heart space than others, but, you know, we need not judge. We're all subjected to the same shit. And if you think about it, once upon a time, we were in these people's shoes at some point in our life or whatever. And it's not about being better than anyone, you know. See, that a lot of that kōrero needs to be fucking knocked on the head. Because this is where misconceptions come in, and then people start speculating and then gossip, yeah, and all of that shit, and then he said, she said, oh, I think you're better, blah blah this, blah blah that. It's like we're all the same. It's just the difference is when you're talking about thinking better, some of us have put in the mahi and others haven't. Yeah. That's all. Heart space. We're all frequency. Yeah. All the help has a waiting list and doesn't directly address like homeless. Indeed, we're all gods. Yeah. Live. Pure energy. If you can't help someone, at least don't hurt them. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, eh? It's just that I deal with a total different reality from most people. Meaning, you know, my reality is manipulated, dictated, and controlled through this agenda. And although, you know, if you know, you know. I don't really want to talk about it, because it's just a lot to explain. But if you know, trying to control the perception of my reality, the way I see things. And I deal with a lot of projections too. People just project on me for no apparent reason whatsoever. Government isn't involved in private businesses to help people, not as much as they need to be for people's rights. Yeah. Social services are important. We don't change money for fighting others. Charge money for housing the poorest people. Yeah. Levels, yeah. We need some gifts in our society. How do we make it through? We are all one consciousness. Yeah. We are all fractal of the God source in individual bodies experiencing that one consciousness, God in its entirety, the good, bad, and the ugly, and everything in between. How do we make it through? Ko te mea nui, ko te aroha is what I keep coming back to. That's what I've been saying for the last fucking few weeks. Ko te mea nui, ko te aroha. Love, heart space. I was homeless with moko. Yeah. And it sucked to be in homelessness during this time. You know, and why winter's ahead. Got to love yourself without the ego. Yeah. Well, see, there's different kōrero way around ego. I like to look at ego from a perspective of the ego is your identity, you know, that creates your identity in this reality. It's your personality. The part where you say got to love yourself without it is the divine, you know, our divinity, our taha wairua, which we can connect with and learn how to integrate it into our ego. You know, and when people talk about ego in a bad light, it's just talking about the negative aspects of one's ego, you know, and it's learning how to get rid of those negative aspects of the ego. That's how I look at it. What are projections, may I ask? Projections are, well, it you know, it depends on the context, but obviously in this context I'm talking about when people project onto you. So, you know, it's basically they're coming from a place of their own experiences, maybe their own hara, their own unresolved issues, and instead of seeing a situation for what it is, as it is, they're seeing it through the lens of their unresolved. And this is a thing, right? This is across the board. Most people that haven't actually done any healing or shadow work, or dealt with their take, come from a place of that projecting. So it might be coming from their own insecurities, their own limitations, their own fears, insecurities, once again, their own unresolved issues, their own hara, all of that is a projection. We trigger people, like you said before, people who put in the mahi and do a lot of shadow work or healing work are going to get projected on the most, because most people don't do this mahi. Most people don't do this mahi. And that's why you're gonna trigger people, and by triggering people, naturally, as a result, they're gonna project on you. Sometimes people are not even consciously aware that they are doing these things, which is quite freaky when you think about it. Not now, now helping others find peace. Yes, negative aspects of ego, pretty much. Most people have no idea who they are and have never asked. It's by the system's design. Once you understand the happenings and the fucking why things the way they are and all of that kōrero, then you can get a clearer picture on why people function the way they do, and not only that, why you function the way you do too. It's a lonely road. I'm not saying NPC to anyone, but it's funny. Anyway, I'm gonna go inside now. Fucking running on God's gas, mate, and I'm just sitting here with my vehicle on. Van's almost on fucking E. Oh, it is on E. It's not. It's on reserve tank. It's on reserve tank. But I'm gonna head on inside. So we can wrap up the live, and I'm gonna hop off, go have a horoi, get ready for my day. So thank you all for the yarns. Hope you guys enjoyed the live, and have a good day, have a good week, take care, stay safe out there, look after yourselves and your loved ones, and have a good day.